Senior U.S. defense official, Russia ground forces making limited to no progress in achieving their objectives in Ukraine. A senior Pentagon official, the Russian military convoy near Kyiv is still stuck and not advancing. Ukraine's foreign minister, pressure must be increased on Russia to stop its military operations. Explosions at Novy Budynki in Kharkiv. Russian ships shelled area of Bazaryanka, Levidivka and Tuzli in Odessa region. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is expected to ask for more financial support from the United States as he addresses Congress in a video call, Psaki said. Our thoughts, our prayers are with his family, says at Press Sec, reacting to the death in Ukraine of Pierre Zakrzewski of at Fox News. Morawiecki, it is here, in war-torn Kyiv, that history is being made. It is here, that freedom fights against the world of tyranny. It is here that the future of us all hangs in the balance. EU supports UA, which can count on the help of its friends. We brought this message to Kyiv today. We're on day 19 here, and one of the reasons Ukraine has been able to hold its own and push back Russia invaders is because of the security assistance provided by the U.S., says at Press-Sec. Russian army targeted Vynohradar district in Kyiv. At NATO Sec-Gen today, Russia is making absurd claims about biological labs and chemical weapons in Ukraine. This is just another lie. And we are concerned that Moscow could stage a false flag operation, possibly including chemical weapons. Ukrainian army repelled Russian attacks at Russky Taishki and Pyatakatki. Ukrainian journalist Oleksandra Kuvshinova was killed today in Kyiv Oblast. The third death of journalists in this war after Russian shells. Zelensky, Russia seeks to exterminate the Ukrainian people and a no-fly should be imposed over Ukraine. Zelensky, Russian forces are bombing the infrastructure in Ukraine on a daily basis. Smoke seen over Russian positions near Kherson. Fox cameraman Pierre Zakrzewski was killed in the same attack that wounded correspondent Benjamin Hall. Zelensky appointed Alexander Pavlik as a head of the Kyiv Regional State Administration, Eduard Moskalayev as commander of the Joint Forces operation. NATO Sec General Stoltenberg says defense ministers meeting tomorrow in Brussels are expected to task military planners to come up with longer-term planning to adjust the alliance's defense posture in light of the Russian war on Ukraine. Substantial Russian Navy force, including landing ships, advancing on Odessa area today. Scene 9:47 Coordinated Universal Time in satellite imagery. The Verkhovna Rada extended the martial law in Ukraine until April 25. 343 MPs voted in favor. Residents of Mariupol have contacted the Media Human Rights Initiative (MHRI) hotline, saying that since yesterday morning, March 14, the Mariupol Regional Intensive Care Hospital, 46 Troitska Street, has been occupied by the Russian troops. Rescue operation continues in Mariupol, about 2,000 vehicles left before 2 p.m., 2,000 more awaiting to leave towards Manhush Bryansk Tokmak Zaporizhye. One wounded as result of Russian missile strike at Dnipro airport. Lukashenko says Tochka ballistic missile was launched towards Belarus from Ukraine, but it was intercepted. The Ukrainian military claims to have foiled another attempt by Russian forces to breach the defensive line along the Irpin River north of Kyiv, this time in the direction of Huta Mezhyhirska and Lyutizh. Ukrainian drone strike geolocated near Kherson. UNHCR, about 3 million Ukrainian refugees since the start of the Russian military operations. Lviv, air sirens in the city. Curfew to be imposed in Kyiv starting 8 p.m. today and before 8 a.m. the 17th of March. Today is difficult and dangerous moment, Mayor Klitschko. 80 people wounded in shelling of Mykolaiv region yesterday, including 2 children. 2 Russian missiles targeted airport in Dnipro city, terminal is damaged, runway destroyed. President Zelensky signed a law on criminal responsibility of cooperation with Russia. Widespread damage after Russian shelling targeted Lukyanivska metro station area in Kyiv. Security Service of Ukraine detained suspect in providing mobile communications to Russian army. Destroyed Russian equipment after failed assault on Mariupol. Death toll of Russian missile attack on TV tower near Rivne yesterday morning increased to 19 dead, 9 wounded. Foreign Minister Wang Yi warns China does not want to be impacted by economic sanctions on Russia, state media says, as pressure grows on Beijing to withdraw support from Moscow. China is not a party to the crisis, still less wants to be affected by the sanctions. Russian army shelled Kharkiv 65 times yesterday, head of regional administration. Written procedure now over for the EU's fourth sanctions package on Russia. Should be published in the official journal later today. Today PMs of Poland, Czech Republic and Slovenia at Morawiecki M, at P_Fiala at Jansa SDS, along with the Poland Deputy PM Kaczynski will visit Kyiv. Russian Ministry of Defense in morning briefing claims control over Pantelimonivka in Donetsk region, and reaching Verkhnodoretsky and Novoselivka Druha. Ukrainian army seized Russian artillery position near Mykolaiv. In Polahi, Zaporizhzhia region Russian troops have blown up military enlistment office. Russian army shelling destroyed boarding school, city hospital and 3 schools in Rubizhne, 4 killed. School 7 was damaged as result of shelling by Russian army on Kharkiv. Two killed as result of Russian army shelling on residential houses in Svitoshinsky district of Kyiv. Shockwave damaged entrance to Lukyanivska metro station in Kyiv. An US Air Force C-17A Globemaster III aircraft has delivered another load of defensive military assistance supplies to a European airport for forward movement to the Ukrainian government. Shelling targeted residential apartments building at Mostyka Street in Kyiv. President Zelensky said that Russia suffered more losses during the war in Ukraine than during the two wars in Chechnya. Russian army shelled Velika Pisarivka with artillery. Geolocation of drone footage showing a civilian being shot by Russian soldiers in Myla, Kyiv Oblast.
Die Schnellstraße E40, wenige Kilometer westlich von Kiew. Eine ukrainische Überwachungsdrohne filmt eine Tankstelle. Direkt daneben eine russische Panzerstellung. Es ist der 7. März 2022 gegen 14 Uhr. Einige private Autos sind unterwegs Richtung Innenstadt. Die ersten Fahrer bemerken offenbar die Panzer. Dann geschieht Schreckliches. Eine Zivilperson steigt aus dem Auto mit erhobenen Händen und wird erschossen. Die Täter offenbar russische Soldaten. Zu erkennen sind sie an ihren weißen Bändern an der Uniform. Das Video wurde frontal über einen anonymen Kontakt zugespielt. Um es zu überprüfen, suchen wir den Drohnenpiloten. Wir finden ihn in einem Kiewer Keller. Zanosa ist Freiwilliger in der ukrainischen Armee und schildert, was er mit seiner Drohne aufgenommen hat. Der Fahrer stieg aus dem Auto aus, hob die Hände hoch und wurde einfach erschossen von russischen Soldaten. Wir können Ort und Uhrzeit der Aufnahmen überprüfen und weitere Drohnenbilder sichten.
Offenbar handelt es sich dabei um Kriegsverbrechen. Es ist ein Zivilist erschossen worden. Seine Frau und möglicherweise seine Tochter oder sein Sohn, man sieht es nicht so richtig auf dem Video, welches Geschlecht, wurden dann von russischen Soldaten weggeführt.
Die Bilder vom 7. März belegen: Putins Behauptung, seine sogenannte Spezialoperation würde keine Zivilisten treffen, ist nichts weiter als eine Lüge.
Some 20,000 residents left the besieged Mariupol through a humanitarian corridor, Kirilo Timoshenko, deputy head of the Ukrainian president's office, has reported. Some 570 cars, out of 4,000 private vehicles that left Mariupol since morning, have arrived in Zaporizhia. Russian military convoy near Mariupol. Turkish President Tayyip Erdogan said on Tuesday he was sending his foreign minister, Mevlut Cavusoglu, to Moscow and Kyiv this week as part of Turkey's mediation efforts to secure a ceasefire in Ukraine. Of the $6.5 billion, $3.5 billion is for replenishment of U.S. stocks for equipment sent to Ukraine through drawdown. Dodd will also consider sending Ukraine, anti-air and anti-armor capability, small arms and ammunition, tactical gear, meals ready to eat and military medical kits. President Joe Biden signed a bill providing $13.6 billion in additional military and humanitarian aid to Ukraine. A convoy of cars evacuating from Mariupol to Zaporizhia was blocked by Russian troops near Vasilivka, Zaporizhia region. People are left in the middle of the road under control of Russian soldiers with no possibility to move in any direction. Occupation authorities in parts of Donetsk region claim that air defense shot down ballistic missile over Horlivka. Shelling continues in Kharkiv. The U.S. State Department, "We will not allow Russia to use the nuclear agreement to evade the sanctions imposed on it as a result of Ukraine war." Aide to Office of President of Ukraine on talks today, a very difficult and viscous negotiation process. There are fundamental contradictions, but there is certainly room for compromise. During the break, work in subgroups will be continued. Shelling targeted civilian infrastructure today in Chernihiv. Russian army shelling targeting Saltivka district in Kharkiv. Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe (PACE) overwhelmingly passed the opinion asking Russia to be withdrawn from the Council of Europe. Missile strike targeted Nikopol. Violent clashes for hours at Bucha, Irpin, Stoyanka, Vorzel. President Zelensky, PM Schmeigel meets PMs of Poland, Czech Republic and Slovenia at Morawiecki M, at P_Fiala, at J Jansa SDS, in Kyiv.
Hi, nice to meet you.